Hello, hello, hello. So today's reading I'm going to do is in regards to the Israeli Hamas war. I I think that's how they're categorizing it right now in the news. I'm not 100% sure. Um I I'll just say this. Well, there are a few things I'll say before I get into the reading. Number one, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys. I've not paid attention to this story. I've kind of been working on a number of other things. So I've lightly seen different things pop into my news feed, and all within, I'd say, since the event first happened, because I literally just found out before I started recording that this is an attack that happened on October 7th. So I have not paid attention. I've probably consumed maybe at the most about 10 minutes of news content here and there just to see what's going on. Um, Before I get into the reading, I'll say this. I'm going to lay a quick foundation. Part of the reason why I haven't gotten into it is because things in the Middle East, when it comes to conflict and challenges, is it's constant and it's historic and it's religious. I've had the pleasure many, many years ago of spending some time in Israel. About a month, I spent there. I visited Haifa, I visited Holon, Tel Aviv, and Jerusalem. I was able to go along the Jordan border. I did not go to the Gaza Strip because we weren't allowed to go there at that time. But I will tell you, it's a very small country with a lot of history that's connected to religious texts. And I also, at the time, I was much younger, so I spent time in the Israeli schools. I had two separate host families. One of my host families lived in Haifa, the other family lived in Holon. And so I have always, since an early age, known about Israel. It has a special place in my heart because it's the first place that I ever traveled to outside of the United States. And there has been so many, like thousands of years of conflict, that a lot of times when things happen, I don't really pay too close attention, number one. And number two, sometimes from what I was able to see when I spent probably close to a month there, is that some things that are happening there gets blown up so big that it seems like it's extremely dangerous. And the truth is that I haven't been able to assess this level of a threat, but I know that when I was going over there, there was this thinking that, oh, you shouldn't go because it's so dangerous. And when I got there, it was like one of the safest places on earth. Like, we hitchhiked, we did all kinds of things independent of security. And so I just want to like kind of lay that foundation before I get into the reading, because it's a very sad situation, the conflict that is happening. And I don't 100% know what led up to this. And so, because I don't know 100% what led up to this, I just said, you know what, let me just pull some cards and see how the cards fall and take it from there in terms of, just my interpretation. But I feel like I have to just be honest with everybody and let you know that I have not paid super close to the attention to this story. Not as much as I'd like to have known before doing actual reading. The first set of cards that I've turned over in my Afro Brazilian tarot deck is an Eight of Pentacles, a Six of Pentacles, and a Five of Pentacles. And the question that I asked the tarot before turning over these cards was, will the conflict between Hamas and Israel last a long time? And also my question was, how long will it last? And so with the Eight of Pentacles, the way we read this is we go back a little bit to what led up to Hamas embarking on this attack. And what the tarot is saying is basically the Eight of Pentacles is representing that this was an act of what Hamas may feel an act of beauty. They felt that this is something that they wanted to do. They've been planning for it for a very long time. They knew it would take a lot of work and skill to actually pull it off. But if they could do it the way that they wanted to do it, it would be a beautiful moment in history, because they feel like in so many ways they're on the offense of the conflict that has been going on for eons of years. So that's the Eight of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is more speaks more to the feeling that Hamas has felt is one of gratification. Like they waited for this moment. They planned it, and they only wanted to do it when they felt that they were ready. And from their perspective, they've already won, because no one was expecting them to go on the offense and to do this attack at this particular point in time. So they already feel in a lot of ways very victorious, because they knew that the blowback from their actions would be extensive, and that 9 times out of 10 Israel would get tons of support, of which they have from military powers all over the world who are their allies, and these are major militaries of the world, the mightiest and the most powerful being the United States. And so the Six of Pentacles is representing that sort of feeling of gratification, feeling that they've already won and that victory is theirs. The last and final card is the Five of Pentacles, and this is speaking to the fact that although Hamas felt that they were extremely prepared and they wanted to take this action, and they only did it when they felt the most ready, the expense that they have and will experience is actually far greater, and that there's a great sense of loss and difficulty in this moment in time, because a lot of times you think and you feel that, hey, we got to take this risk, and even though we're taking this risk, we know that there are going to be consequences, because we can't just randomly attack the Israelis and not somehow think that we will wage a war, or we're going to be attacked as a result of our aggressive move. And so the Five of Pentacles is really speaking to how, although this is a conflict that they felt in so many ways was unavoidable, it does come with great loss. It comes with great difficulty and a high cost, a very high expense. I think that's part of what they're experiencing, and that this is definitely going to be an expensive, long-lasting kind of conflict, because it's already been a lasting type of situation. That's the initial reading. So shuffle some more cards. How long will this conflict last, Tarot? Is Hamas going to wave the white flag and give up soon? Or will this conflict be something that is going to be an extensive struggle? So I'm asking you, Tarot, to please reveal to me, will this conflict where we are experiencing war-like activities, where there's bombing and hostages being taken, will this last for years? Yes or no? Let's turn over our card. The card that I turned over is the Ace of Wands. Tarot is saying that this is only the beginning. I asked one more to clarify. How long do you see this lasting? Is this years? Is this multiple years? We have a Three of Cups. There will be an agreement that will be reached, and there will be success that's achieved, and it's going to actually bring a great deal of excitement and a great deal of optimism around the world. But although we're at the beginning, this struggle is difficult. It's going to be costly and it's going to be expensive, but it is going to be something that is well worth the struggle, because what should come out of this deeply devastating moment in time and in history is a real agreement that will be successful for everyone who's involved. So that's actually positive. Last question. What is success to Hamas? Hamas initiated this attack. At this moment in time, how is it that they're defining success? What is their definition of winning in this struggle with Israel? Because we know that they don't even acknowledge Israel. So what, Tarot, is their definition of a win and success? What is it? What is it? What is it? We have the Fool. Issue. We have the Fool. Wow, this is deep. So Hamas, with the last question I pulled the Fool, which is a major arcana, and the Fool basically represents the messenger and all manifestations. And so Hamas may be feeling that they are the messengers on earth, and their their feelings of success is actually being achieved because there are greater powers that be in and throughout the world. And so for them to, even if they reach an agreement, for them as the underdogs, and for them as what they consider to be the underdogs, what they consider to be the oppressed, for them to establish instability and insanity is a win. That is victory. And so regardless of the agreement that it is reached, they have established themselves as, not even so much as established themselves, they have reminded everyone that they are unstable, and that they can be unstable at any moment, And yes, they want an agreement. They would hope to get what they want in the agreement. I don't think they feel, does Hamas feel that they're going to get their demands met in an agreement, Tarot? Another major arcana card is Judgment. Is the card of Judgment. The world. It's the world. Orunmila. That represents the four elements of air, water, earth, fire. Success, love, and completeness. They feel that they are going to get what they want regardless. And what they want is to reassert themselves as a power, as a powerful entity that's not to be neglected, ignored, or taken lightly. They are going through this struggle, and ultimately the struggle was the goal. I know that sounds kind of weird, but the struggle, the conflict, the war, this was the goal. The instability was the goal, is the goal. And even if they reach an agreement that everyone is happy with, including them, they have established, or they have reinforced the idea and the fact that they are always unstable. And no matter what their demands are, if they don't get what they want, they're always going to create a problem for Israel and any other groups or countries that are aligned with Israel. So that is the reading. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I hope this reading brought you some sort of understanding. This situation is not an easy situation anytime you're talking about war and loss of lives. So my heart goes out to everyone who's involved in the conflict. I just pull cards and I read the cards as the tarot presents it. And so I just try to listen to the meaning and pull together the meaning based off of the questions I'm asking and what the tarot is revealing. And so hopefully you look at the conflict maybe differently. I think the tarot and how it reveals answers to questions is something worth considering, because this situation is a very, very complicated, long lasting conflict that has existed in the Middle East.